Who's going to get out of the relegation fight and who's going to go down? That is the question today on this show. Hello, my name's Nicky Hawkins. Welcome to West Ham Fan TV. I've got two very special guests. I did try and find a Leeds fan, but no, I think they was too busy celebrating this weekend. So I'll give them that one. But we have got two of our relegation rivals in here. We've got Forest Fan TV. We've got Wolfie in the house. Well done, Wolfie. Give a round of applause. And we've got the boys from We Are Tottenham TV in the house, and round of applause for you boys as well. Thank you very much for joining me.
Nicky, I heard you said you got two very special guests here. You've got three people.
So
which one of us is not special?
Two very special channels.
Hey, Nicky, not that I mind it, but
three very special guests.
Nicky, not that I mind it, but what was the applause for? Like,
because one of you were going to save us, I think. So
we like to do a parade for when we lose 3-0. So that's what we're getting applauded for.
Oh, a little bus parade.
A little bus parade. A little applause. Is that what we do?
You know, welcoming the team bus and that.
Right, boy. Right, Wolfie, let's start with you because you're the least out of it. So I'll go with you. I'll go with Sim, and then I'll go with myself. All right, Sim and Ben. How have you found yourself in this situation? What has gone wrong this season?
Man, how long are we recording for? Like, that's a big question, man. I think it starts with Edu. If I'm being honest with you, the appointment of Edu that causes the friction between him and Nuno, and then Nuno decides to throw his toys out the pram, leaving no alternative for Marinakis but to sack him. Then we decide to go for Sims boy, Postecoglou. Like, that was.
Should have kept him.
Yeah, man. Well, I'd rather had him than Dyche. And then obviously he lasted about 5 minutes. And then in rolls Sean Dyche, who has apparently been calling indirectly me out for the people on YouTube and stuff who got him sacked and you know, waved hate his way. And I just say thank you, Dyche, if you are talking about me. I got rid of you. I told you I'd outlast you.
Yeah, you're the problem, Wolfie. You're the problem.
So it's been a mess behind the scenes. But honestly, boys, I think the players are getting away scot-free with this, hiding behind managers. You know, one thing I agree with Sean Dyche on is the players went up and were able to complain to Marinakis to get rid of him. They did that with Postecoglou. Like, there's too much player power. Some of these players need to buck up their ideas. Some of them are on over 100 grand a week and putting in performances when and if they feel like it. So I think they feel that they can get away with it. If they perform badly, the fingers get pointed at the manager. So as a collective, I'm sure it's the same in a lot of your boys' camps as well. But yeah, but somehow or other, we're still in the Europa League. We're playing that this week. And I'm ahead of both of you. So
yeah,
we are where we are. It's not too bad. It could be a disaster season, or I could be playing Champions League football next season. I don't know.
Anything not to blame Marinakis, Wolfie. Everyone's to blame, but not Marinakis. Come on.
Mate, what has he done wrong in this situation? What's he done wrong in this situation?
He's employed 4 managers for a start.
Okay,
Nuno first and foremost.
Well, he had to sack Nuno, did he not?
Why did he have to sack him? Nuno's your most successful
because
manager.
Nuno publicly came out and spoke out about stuff he shouldn't have spoken about.
Was he right?
Did that not happen with you guys in context?
In hindsight, right? In hindsight, Wolfie, even if he said that, right? Now, you might think, I don't think that's necessarily true. You have to sack him for that, right? But we saw what happened at the end of last season when he was on the pitch, pointing at his in his chest and all that sort of thing. There was obviously tension there, right? Wasn't Marinakis just looking for an excuse to get rid of him? And if he was looking for an excuse to get rid of him, why get rid of him? Like, when you think about who you've employed afterwards, why?
Look, there was no plans for Nuno to be sacked. Okay, like the day the story broke that they were looking to sack Nuno, the day he did that first interview, it all came out in the press to start with. And I got in touch with the guys I know at the club. I was like, is this true? And they're like, categorically, no one is looking to sack him. Nuno instigated this because he is disliking he can get on with Edu. So if you want to blame Marinakis, you can blame him on the appointment of Edu because Edu's about to leave as well. So that hasn't worked out. You could say Marinakis should have sided with Nuno and got rid of Edu, but Edu was very green at the time. It was too early in the relationship. He'd brought in some players that we all thought were going to be decent players. 200 odd million spent. So it looked like it was going in the right direction. The thing is, it all came down to your favorite player, Nicky, Adama Traore. That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I
Like
tell you
Eddie
what,
refused to sign him, and I kind of agree. I think Adama is shitly overrated, man.
he
If
was
anyone does,
fucking good the weekend.
Mm.
Really good.
yeah. So would you start him?
I think I would. I think I
Wow,
would.
you've changed your tune, mate. You've
I'm-
changed your tune on him.
Listen, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, you know, and
You've got about 7 of them, though, man. It's
yeah,
like-
but no, but your opinion has to change, doesn't it? As time goes on. But yeah, it comes down to Adama. He wanted
It
Adama.
does. I knew he was going West Ham. Like that was like the most guaranteed. When you signed Nuna, I was like, right, January, Adama Traore. But we're talking about a player who couldn't even get into the Fulham team. And Fulham are a decent outfit under Silva, but he wasn't even getting into their team. He probably gets into the Spurs team, no doubt. But outside of that, I don't see where else he doesn't get. Look, Nicky, let's be real. He's not even starting regularly for you guys.
I think he
Is
turned
it?
up unfit. I'll be honest with you. But
Have you seen him? If that's unfit, man, I don't know what I'd call us boys then, but bloody hell.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't be. I always think. Listen, we asked this Mikel Antonio, right? Mikel Antonio, you pile on too much muscle. Muscle takes oxygen.
Lactic
And
acid.
it's lactic acid, yeah, and it's hard to recover with muscles like that. He's built like a brick shithouse. Like he's the biggest geezer I've ever seen in my life. Shortest but biggest, right? And you know that's not. I think he's sort of like slimming down a little bit. And when I see him the other day, he's got that right balance. When you get him right, he's excellent. He's got that power. He's got that pace. He's got that unpredictability. He's got that ability to get past people. The only thing he hasn't got is a finishing product. And let's be honest, if he had a finished product, he wouldn't be with us. He'd be with fucking Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Well, he was.
Well, he was, yeah. But
He was. To me, he's just a chiseled up Aaron Lennon. If I'm being honest with you,
Yeah, no disrespect on Aaron Lennon's name, mate. Aaron Lennon.
bro,
is
like
quality.
all Aaron Lennon, pace merchant down the wing, couldn't cross, couldn't shoot. That's Adama Traore, man. I mean, I don't know how we're turning this whole thing into an Adama Traore thing, but like we're going off topic.
Because
But
you're
that
trying
was
to avoid criticism from Maranakis. That's why you're distracted.
hey, the Greek father, man. You know what I'm saying about my guy
We know
there.
what's going on here, Wolfie. You're just trying. We know what happens to people who get on Maranakis.
Exactly. He knows what happens
We
if he
know what
criticizes
happens. We've
Maranakis.
seen it. And so
I've
you're
criticised him.
yeah, you're in the
Mate,
same city,
make
mate.
the
I'd be
thing.
careful.
Mate, I've criticised him
You've already
plenty.
got fucking the ginger stone cold Steve Austin after you. I don't want him after you know.
Look, I've
Maranakis
criticised
got
him
you on the
plenty
watch
this
list, Wolfie.
season, but his good outweighs what he's done wrong. And when he does something wrong, the difference is he corrects it. Sean Dyche should never have been appointed. Postecoglou probably should never have been appointed. I didn't mind him, to be honest, but like he corrects it. He doesn't care that like everyone's going, oh, 4 managers in the season, 4 managers. Well, Spurs are one behind us now. Like big deal. I don't care if we had freaking 38 different managers. If you said to me you get a manager bounce every time you get a new manager, I'd say change him every single game. I don't care. I don't know why people got this arbitrary number that 4's too many. So, you know, he's done what he's had to do. It could be the worst season ever, or it could be the best season ever. Because if I'm playing Champions League next season,
the Reds are staying up, right, Wolfie? Is that true?
hell yeah, man.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
Right, boys, down to you. What's gone wrong?
Yeah, it's just been an
It's been a
absolute shit
fucking
show.
disaster, let's be honest.
It's been an absolute shit show, and I
We're
think
doing a podcast for relegation.
I know.
discussion.
It's
the first
this
time
is
we're
new
here.
territory for us boys. Like,
Wait, you were here last season, mate, weren't you?
No,
we
never
were
got
nowhere
invited
near
on
the
these.
actual
We never got invited on these.
points wise. We weren't.
Same
And
position.
I think when you're looking at it, the Thomas Frank appointment was just totally wrong. I think he brought the wrong mentality to this football club, the wrong playing style to this football club, couldn't get the wins on the board, couldn't get the players on side. And I thought you saw early on disgruntlement and disrespect from our players towards Thomas Frank, and he should have gone a lot earlier than he did. The hierarchy just wanted to cling on to him until the higher ups had to actually step in over like a Vinay and Lange to actually sack him. But it should have happened a long time before that. And I think if it did happen a long time before that and we got a permanent manager in then I don't think we would be in this mess. But they just waited. And I think what they were waiting for was they thought that Spurs would not get dragged into this. They thought just because our name is Tottenham Hotspur that we wouldn't get dragged into this mess. And how wrong were they? They were backing on themselves to get out of this mess and just go for Pochettino at the end of the season.
I honestly think that our December stopped you from sacking him then.
Could have been.
If we'd have had a better December, because we ended up with that December with a loss to Forest. We were 7 points behind Forest. I think 10 behind you. I think they might have pulled the trigger earlier. I think we were the reason that you didn't pull the trigger because you thought they're never going to fucking catch up. Never.
Yeah, the reality is you've got to look at yourselves before you look at anyone else. And the
Yeah,
results were just so poor, losing week after week. We haven't won a game in 2026. I think we're one of 2 teams in the whole Football League that haven't done that. So Thomas Frank has got a lot of blood on his hands for the season that we've had. The hierarchy have got even more, in my opinion. Igor Tudor, his hiring, it just got worse after that. So look, we should have tried to throw the book at De Zerbi when Frank got sacked, or even before then. And now we're in this mess. And I think De Zerbi has given us the best shot of actually trying to save this situation, albeit we're still in a very precarious situation.
But is it too little, too late?
It very could be. It very well could be. I'm not saying that we're safe and we're definitely going to beat this thing, but I'm saying with the managers that were available at the time, you know, they were talking about bringing Harry Redknapp in, bringing Tim Sherwood in, bringing all these old guys in. You know what I mean? De Zerbi is the actual manager here and now that's actually a decent manager. So I think he's given us the best chance of saving it.
Ben, do you rate your squad?
I rate it higher than what it is, than what we're showing, yeah.
So how
we shouldn't be
how
in a
much?
relegation battle. We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be in a relegation battle with the squad we have.
But what players do you think are good in your squad? That's the bit that confuses me. From the ones you got fit.
A couple of years ago, the majority of the squad is still here. We finished 5th. So there's a team there or players there that are much better.
In 1980, I won the European Cup. Like,
yes, but we're talking about 2 years ago. And most of the players in that squad are still here at the club, and were here at the beginning of the season. So they're players capable of winning a lot
you
more.
agree with me? Like, look at Mohamed Salah, man. His form's gone out the window, but last season he was banging goals in. Season before, he was, you know.
Most players,
yeah, but that's an age thing, Wolfie.
Yeah. Most players don't just change over 2 years that much, where they've gone from a team that could challenge for top 4 to relegation fodder within such a short amount of time. Now, last season, the warning signs were there. Obviously, we did finish 17th, but I think there was a lot of mitigating circumstances for it with the massive injury crisis we had last season. Obviously, we had the Europa League run that we went all the way to the final and ended up winning. I think we took the wrong lessons from last season. Instead of really focusing on building a project which we could get behind with Ange, and I wanted to keep him, and I wanted to have a team playing good football and having something to build upon, having finally broken that trophy drought, we decided to rip it all up, go for a very pragmatic style with Thomas Frank, which the players were not on board with. The players didn't like it. The players really liked Ange. And instead of having a manager who instilled belief in these players and said, look, whoever we're playing, we're going to take them on, and we're going to impact the game in the way that we want to. We're hearing Thomas Frank, who's like this hyper pragmatist realist who always like kind of played down our ambitions, and also the way we played, the way he got this team to play was always very much reacting to the opposition and not taking the initiative in any game. And the players very, very quickly lost trust in the management and as well in the hierarchy, because the hierarchy are ultimately the ones who made that decision. And we've had our captain Romero make public statements condemning the hierarchy for lying and not doing the job properly, which all the Tottenham fans have been saying. And I think for me, when you've got Romero, who's a World Cup winner, Van de Ven, who starts regularly for the Dutch national team, you've got Porro, who starts regularly for the Spanish national team, you've got Paulinho, who was known before Tottenham as a very good defensive midfielder, you've got Xavi Simons, who was scoring goals in a Euro semi-final against England not too long ago, you've got Mohamed Kudus, who we just signed for 50 million from West Ham, who's a very good player. We've got a lot of talent in this squad. We've got a lot of talent. They haven't been
performing, Sim. Here's the point I'm trying to get.
I don't think it's because of their quality. There's a lot of reasons to that. I don't think it's just because they're bad players.
Do you want to know why? Do you know what I think? I think that the squad was bought and the players purchased were very much Thomas Frank players. You know, he's very good at getting the best out of wingers. And they very much concentrated on signing wingers and then them attacking players. And I think you forgot to get the fucking defenders and the defensive players. That's what I think you've done. I think, look, listen.
I don't agree, man. They didn't get anything on the left. They didn't get anything.
They didn't get Eze and they didn't get Morgan Gibbs-White. And I think they was too banked.
Yeah, but Nicky, this January transfer window was the most shocking January transfer I'd ever seen. We were lacking in numbers. Players were going down week in, week out. On the first day of the window, we sold Brennan Johnson, who got 18 or so, however many goals he got for us. And we replaced him with nobody. We brought in a Conor Gallagher on massive wages, who a player that we did not need. We got so many different midfielders of the same profile. And we brought in a 19-year-old Brazilian left back who they didn't think could make an impact this season. So you can't take out Brennan Johnson, and Kudus went down injured the next week. Yeah. Kudus got run into the ground because he was getting played week in, week out. He was our only avenue of attack. Under Thomas Frank, all we did was get the ball to Kudus, get him to run past everyone and try and create something. That's all our method of attack was. And he got ran into the ground and he got injured the day after we sold Brennan Johnson, and they still didn't bring anyone in.
I actually forgot about Brennan Johnson. Yeah, that is a massive. I mean, that was a massive boo-boo.
But Nicky, they didn't rate him. Not these two. I'm saying the Spurs fan base were very polarized when it came to Brennan Johnson. Instead of taking him for what he is, I mean, Brennan Johnson will never track back and defend. He's not gonna skill a defender up.
Frank didn't rate him either.
Yeah, but he is, like, you would have seen him under Angie got good out of him, where he's just going to be at the back post, tap it in, or he's going to shoot and score, or he's going to run into the place.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of fans didn't rate him. That's fine. But the reality is, when you're in the situation that we were in with the massive injury crisis,
agreed,
with players dropping every single week because they're being overplayed. All the narrative going into the window is our number one target was going to be a winger or an attacker. That was what we were going to focus on. And yeah, we ended the window with one less attacker than we started the window with, when that was supposed to be our main focus in the window.
Yeah. But actually, two, because Kudus went down.
And Kudus went down. So it was irrelevant whether we rated him or not. You cannot sell him with all the limited numbers that we have.
I agree.
If you have
but
no
I do
replacement.
think you're overrating your squad. If I'm being honest, I think your attack is dead.
But overrating our squad to what? Because we think that we shouldn't be in a relegation battle.
Not even that. I think. Do you guys think you should be in a top 6 battle with that squad?
No, I don't think so.
Not.
Where did you predict Spurs would finish at the start of the season?
Yeah, probably that.
Listen, there's a famous video of me online one day saying he's going to finish 5th. So yeah, you do get overexcited when you see players coming in and new revolutions coming in. Let me go on.
But this is what I mean, Nicky. Like,
you didn't expect this, did you? At the beginning of the season for Forest?
I said we'll get Champions League next season.
I expected it,
exactly.
And out of us all, I was the only one that did expect it, because I could see these problems coming for a long time. I think when our squad is piss poor. It's piss poor. We've got good players, and some of them are getting on a little bit, but the leadership of Potter was awful, and I mean awful. And I've heard some fucking horror stories about Potter since then. Players leaving the club that didn't want to leave the club, and he was forcing them out because he didn't like voices or challenging in the dressing room. And when you get to a point where you need fighters, you need them big voices in the dressing room. And what has Potter done? He's got rid of them all because he thought we was better. When you go into a season, and listen, and I've said this to the boys, and I'm going to be honest, right? Kudus was brilliant for us first season. Second season, when we needed him, when the chips were down, he didn't want to know. He didn't want to know, right? And that is my worry. Well, I'm not worried. I'm hoping that's what he's going to do for you. Is because when you get into this situation and it gets to the point where he has to fight, he don't want to fucking fight. He thinks he should be playing, excuse me, Champions League football. He thinks he should be playing, for these top clubs in Europe. He went to Tottenham because you were playing Champions League football. He went out injured. You was in the Champions League and mid-table. He comes back. You're in a relegation fight and out the Champions League. He ain't going to want to fancy that. And I think it's going to take him a few games to get back in it. Listen, when a new manager bounce and all that, I don't know what you're going to do. I think Forest are going to be safe. But the reason why we're in this is because it's badly run, our football club. We're in debt. When you go to the point, and this was my point, when you go to the point where you are literally begging your rivals to take one of your players off of you, you know you're in trouble, because they wouldn't deal with each other, Tottenham and West Ham. They would not deal with each other. And basically when we got to the point where they are basically begging to please take him, you know you're in trouble, right? And I said this, we've got, we're financially, I think this is the start of a rot. Whether we get out of it or not, I think there are dark days ahead for this football club, because we are in financial trouble. We cannot sustain what we've got with the money we've got. And that is, when you think about, we've got a 65,000 seater stadium, and, we haven't got an abundance of superstars. We've sold Lucas Paqueta, we've sold Kudus. The only one we've got left really is Bowen. and he hasn't been great this season. But when you think about that and you think about how much trouble you're in, how much more can you strip out of it before you're going to inevitably going to do what sort of like a Leeds done, 25 years ago or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there are dark days ahead of this football club. But I would say this: Nuno came in and crazy decisions at times. Listen, he's one of them guys. You either love him or you hate him. There's no in between with Nuno. You know what I mean? Like, some of the decisions he made early doors when he should be setting as precedent, like playing the midfield he did, playing a team he did against Leeds and Brentford. Going to Leeds and losing like that, and then going the same against Brentford. They're mad decisions. And there are some times when he playing Kilman the weekend in a quarter final when we should be at Wembley now. These things are unforgivable. But he has got the fight back in the team. He has, he's brought them two centre forwards in who hasn't scored many goals, but they are fighting. There's a lot more fight in them. I think the key to our revival has been Axel Disasi, because Axel Disasi has come in and he's solidified that defence. Solidified it. Him and Mavropanos, fantastic. Him and Tadibo, fantastic. He's been fantastic. But the fact of the matter is this, right? And I know you two are going to say you're not. I'm prepared for this relegation. I've been preparing for this relegation all year. I said at the beginning of the season, we are in trouble. I sat here and said to one of Sullivan's stooges, why can't you see this squad getting relegated? And he was laughing at me. But I could see it all of the year. So, listen, I do think we're going to get out of it. But I don't think this is the only time we're going to be in it. I think there's an inevitable drop to come. So I don't know. I'm trying to work out whether it'd be better just to do it this season, or do we have to fucking suffer again next season with worse players? We looked at them two players that scored at the weekend against Leeds when we fought back. The Sarsi's not going to be here next year. We can't afford him. Yeah, we can't afford him. It's already been said we can't afford him. And Matthias Fernandez, who's been a shining star this season, is going to win our Hammer of the Year. He won't be here either, because that's who they're going to get the money from to start balancing the books.
And Bowen, is Bowen going to stay?
Bowen will stay. I don't think Bowen's good enough to go anywhere at the moment. I really don't. But there we go. But that's where we find ourselves, boys. But it's let's talk about the managers then, because we've all had each other's managers at some point. I mean, you've got Thomas Frank, and you've had Posta.
It's been very incestuous.
We've had Nuno.
We've all had Nuno. We've all had Nuno. Yeah.
Derby. You've got, who the fuck have you got? I can't even remember.
Victor Pereira.
And we've got Nuno. Who's best suited to stay up?
Nuno. Without a shadow of doubt, Nuno's done it before, and I just think he understands it. His calmness. You know what the best thing about Nuno is? He's calm. He never gets rattled. His head's always balanced, and he's got the experience of this. And he knows the fundamentals. In this fight, the most important thing is your defense. Fix the defense. And that's what he did at Forest when he came in. He was in a relegation fight when he came in with us. He saw that the players he had couldn't fix the defense, so he brought in Milenkovic, who just reshaped our defense completely, and we kicked on from there. He's exactly what you said there. I think he's brought the best out of Mavropanos. I think Mavropanos under Nuno has been sensational, and he's seen something in Disasi, who everyone's called Axel Disaster, that no one else saw, and he's brought a defender out of him as well. And Nuno's a goalkeeper by trade, but a defensive-minded coach is his philosophy. He takes so much pride in clean sheets. That's what he was always saying at Forest. Even when we won 7-0 against Brighton, he was more impressed with the 0 than the 7. That's kind of his mentality. So he's fixed that for you guys. You guys were horrific in the first half of the season defensively. I think you were conceding on average, 3 goals a game or something silly. I saw a stat back then.
Yeah, it wasn't far off.
It was ridiculous. And I just think it's taken longer than I expected, but he's sorted your defense out. Now, attacking wise, I don't think you've got the threats there that will potentially get you the goals that we got, say, under a Chris Wood. I know the
Somerville look good, though.
Somerville looks good as long as he stays fit for them. Somerville's been brilliant. But Somerville needs someone to bounce off him in a Nuno formation. So he needs a number 9. Like we had that with Alanga and Chris Wood last season. That was
he does that job well.
But he's not scoring, Nicky. He's not scoring,
but he's bringing the best out of Somerville.
Yeah. But I think your issue is, and it's probably going to surprise these two at the bottom. I don't think Bowen's been that good this season.
He hasn't.
Um,
He hasn't been that
and everyone else tells me he has outside of the West Ham fan base. It only seems like West Ham fans
what it
agree
is?
with me.
People look at stats.
Yeah.
And they judge everything by stats.
Yeah.
I judge with my eyes, and I can see there's a problem. He's got an issue. You know, all I got from the last couple of games when I criticised him in the FA Cup, because he's got to step up. He's the captain, right? And and he's meant to be this, superstar that could go and play this Champions League football. I haven't seen that this season. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen it this season. And people, but he's had 5 goal involvements in 5 games. Yeah, well, let's have a look at the 30 before that. How many has he had all season? Not as many as he fucking has been, And listen, I hate to put the blame on Jared Bowen, because I think the captaincy was chucked on him. I don't think it should be his. I think it should be Souček's, to be honest with you. I think he would be more suited to be a captain. And I don't think Jared's the character. But he's also not the character that was going to turn around and go, thanks, but no thanks. Yeah. And I feel sorry for him, because as a captain, and we see it earlier on in the season with Wolves, right? He started getting into arguments with fans. You are going to be criticised because it's your leadership, whether you like it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, there's part of you that is to blame because you are the captain. And
but Nicky, that's exactly what you said about Kudus. This is exactly what you've been saying when you sold Kudus to us, when you came on our show. This is exactly what you've been saying, and then you said we were like, it's hard to do it in the situation you're in to be as good as he has been previously.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember you saying but Bowen's been able to keep up his standards in that situation, but now he's dropped. So clearly, is it not a West Ham problem rather than individual?
Isn't it more an attitude problem? Like, I think not an ego problem. I don't think Bowen's egotistical like Kudus.
I think it's an age thing with Bowen. I think the pressure's getting to him in terms of like the captaincy, the situation we find ourselves in, and I think he's you look at it in the way he plays. Listen, against Leeds, I criticise him, but he was everywhere. At some point, he was everywhere on the pitch. He is working his bollocks off. But we don't need someone to work their bollocks off. We've got enough of them now. We need someone with the quality that he's got to be banging in the goals, because we know he can, And if he steps up, listen, he needs to step up these last 7 games. Steps up these last 7 games and starts banging in the goals like he does. Somerville comes back. We'll be fine. We will be fine. I'm sure.
Just quickly going back to the managers in terms of what Wolfie was saying, I think Tottenham do have the best manager out of the 3 of us. I think De Zerbi is in terms of quality of manager. Yes. I think De Zerbi is the best manager out of the 3. And if we were in a different situation, I think everyone would say you'd much rather have De Zerbi than Nuno or Vitor Pereira. I think if we're all in different situations. Now, De Zerbi's never been in a relegation battle. So how he adapts or how he approaches the situation we're in, it's kind of uncharted territory. Can you get out of a relegation scrap like we're in, playing the way De Zerbi plays? Now, you might sit here and say absolutely not, because you have to scrap and you have to win 1-0 and you have to sort the defence. But maybe you can. Maybe he can just get this team playing. Maybe he can instill his football. And those little margins that have been we've been so devoid of for most of the season, where it seems like we haven't been able to string 2 passes together because Thomas Frank has been instilling this way of playing where it's basically just get the ball to a fullback and lump it long, or give the ball to Kudus and see if he can dribble past 3 or 4 players and make something happen. If Zerbi can completely change that and get this team playing the ball on the ground and creating chances again, maybe we can win enough games to stay up, and it wouldn't have to be just win 1-0 off a set piece, and that's the only way. Deitch out or Nuno ball, and that's how the way you stay up. It's hard to really know what to think as a Tottenham fan, because I think the narrative in the Premier League, and as being a Premier League fan, when you've seen teams turn it around down at the bottom, it has been turn it gritty and turn it kind of into a scrap, and that's how you stay up. But it looks like from the training, whatever, Zerbi is going to go in a different direction. He's going to play his way of playing. He's going to input his philosophy into this team immediately. That's what it seems like.
Listen, where do you see your wins coming from? It might be pretty football.
Wolfie, we haven't won for 3 months. I can't see us winning a single game.
I mean, happy 100-day anniversary, by the way. I forgot to mention that.
Thank you.
101 now, Wolfie. 101 now.
Let's have a look at the last fixtures for Tottenham. So you start De Zerbi's reign with away at Sunderland. And
wait, what was their previous fixture before this, Nicky? I can't quite see it.
Pipe down, Wolfie. Pipe down.
They didn't, normally I get a call from Sim or Ben to say, you want to come on and do a post match after the Forest. I didn't get one this time.
I don't think you've got one for the last 4 games we played each other.
Sorry, carry on.
You're not going to win the war anyway.
These results, but this is a tough start for De Zerbi. Away to Sunderland, Brighton are no mugs. Wolves, they've gone to some big teams and done it, and then Villa and then Leeds.
Yeah,
and then
Nicky,
Chelsea.
You could read any sort of fixture list.
Oh, yeah, you could. I could be
I
saying
know,
Port Vale, fucking Port Vale are no mugs, and fucking Southampton.
So for me, in a way, the fixture list doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who we're playing.
I agree. I agree with
that. It's all about how we approach it, and it's all about instilling confidence back into these players. Because I do believe these players are good enough to win 2 or 3 games between now and the end of the season. We have the quality to do it. We have not won for 3 months, and it's not because these players are not good enough to win a single game of football for the last 3 months. There's something else going on here. And if De Zerbi can change it even a little bit, even in the short term, get a little bit of a bounce, get a little bit of confidence, get the team playing football again, I think we do have the players that can win 2 or 3 games between now and the end of the season.
I mean, I think you're right, and we'll look at our fiction in a minute. But you know what? The one that really stands out to me is this one here, Chelsea.
Yeah,
Chelsea,
I mean,
because they can you imagine what they will be doing if that's the game that's going to relegate you?
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, and also they need it for Champions League as well. I mean, they're looking at.
Yeah, that's the one. But there are some tough.
The biggest thing is confidence, though. The biggest thing is confidence, and I think De Zerbi can instill some confidence. They seem excited to work under him, but if you just go on results over the past 3 months between West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and Tottenham, everything suggests to you that it's Tottenham that's going to get the ones that are going to go down.
But I mean, after this break, I think we start going right. Let's have a look at Forests. So we start. I mean, you got Porto tomorrow.
Correct. Yeah. Who you guys got midweek?
No, we haven't got a game.
It's going to be a distraction for you, mate.
I'm happy. Forest are in Europe.
So am I.
Laugh it up, Wolfie, until you get some players injured and you start looking tired.
But in terms of the Premier League, it's a Midlands derby.
Yeah,
Villa. Yeah, that's not easy.
Burnley, you got to fancy them against Burnley.
That's our game, Nicky. If Forest win against Burnley, then I wasted my time on this.
Well, they drew at home to Wolves 0-0.
Apart from that Burnley game, though, you look at the Nottingham Forest fixtures; they're all very tough
ones, man. You look at Sunderland, Newcastle, although they are at home. Bournemouth, Man United away.
The key thing for me when it comes to, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, Nicky, we're long in the tooth on these bloody relegation fights. When it comes to the opponents you're coming up against, I'd much rather have teams that are on the beach than teams that are fighting for something.
100%.
That's when it's key. If you look at runs over the last few seasons, we beat Arsenal to stay up a couple of seasons ago. It doesn't necessarily matter who you're playing. It's how bad do you want it as well. So I look at those teams. There are a few that are going to be on the beach. Some of them would have qualified and are focusing on other competitions and what have you. I think Forest season for the Premier League is solely based on this Burnley match. If we get this Burnley match done and dusted, get the 3 points on the board from that puts us on 35. That means we're 1, maybe 2 points away tops.
I think you'd be right.
So as tough as the other fixtures look, we're one win away, I think, from pretty much.
How many points do you think it will take?
I think it's 36. I think 36.
36? That's low. That's very low.
I don't think. I think it'll be higher. I think it's about 38.
Right.
38.
Yeah. So you'd be saying, what are you on, Nicky? 29 points.
We're on 29.
So you would expect then, at the very least, that they're going to get another 8 points.
Well,
9 points.
Well, yeah,
9 points. Sorry, 9. Well, 8 would be like the cutoff, wouldn't it? And then
so we've got Wolves, right? So the significance of the Wolves game on Friday,
that's huge,
is that if we win that, Spurs slip into the bottom three. We'll look at the table in a minute, and then we've got Palace. They've had a bit of an upturn at form recently, but we normally do okay at Palace.
And they've got Europe as well, Nicky. Sorry to interrupt you. And they're on the beach in the league. They're not going down. They're not getting Europe.
Yeah. And then we've got Everton, and that's a mixed bag as well. Moisey coming back. I think he'd like to stick the dagger in. Brentford, they've been a good side. This is the one that's interesting to me, the West Ham Arsenal game, because boys, you are going to be so fucking conflicted there. They go down to 3 points.
Oh,
No conflicting thoughts for me, mate. No conflicting thoughts for me.
You know what? I love to hear that because I've heard Spurs fans before saying, fucking get us out of it and do this and do that so they can't win it and all that sort of thing. Good. You look at your own team because it's important.
You don't know what my thoughts are.
Go on.
No, I'm joking. 100%. I want West Ham to lose that game. 100%.
Yeah, but
I will not
hold
say
on.
I want Arsenal to win because I'll never want Arsenal to win. I just want West Ham to lose.
Wait, but hold on, because there is another scenario where, let's say, Arsenal are league winners by that stage. Arsenal may roll over, boys.
They could have won already. Yeah. Oh God, imagine. If
Because I've heard a lot of I've heard this conversation with a lot of Arsenal fans, and they're like, "Do you know what? We've never really cared, but the way Spurs fans went on about those Man City games over the last few seasons,
and also they could
honest,
be the Champions League semi-final.
I think I'm going to be honest. Right, even if they have won the league, they are not going to roll over because Mikel Arteta is a prick.
Top prick.
We can all agree on that. We can all agree on that.
Yeah, we can all agree on that. We'll all shake hands on that one.
can.
Then we got Newcastle. Then we've got a massive game against Leeds, who I have got to bring into the conversation because we haven't got a representative here. But I'm going to be honest, boys, right? Now, I think Tottenham are likely to go down, but I think these could well go down. Leeds.
I completely agree. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks or even month.
sleepwalking.
They're getting worse and worse as the season's progressing. And not only that, but they're in the FA Cup semi-final. And if they do make it to that final as well, they're going to have, like, those players, they're going to think about that FA Cup final more than relegation because that's history. Like, if they win that FA Cup, like, that is mad history for Leeds. Like, that's going to be of more importance than the relegation battle for them.
And
my
they're
opinion.
not winning many games. They're not scoring many goals recently. The thing is, they don't lose too many. So people kind of overlook them because they're actually not getting embarrassed on a weekly basis like the rest of us.
Do you know what?
But they're actually not winning that many.
Do you know what I saw on Sunday? And obviously we lost the game on penalties. But when they got under pressure and when it started to go wrong, they were fucking awful. I mean, awful. And people said the fight to get them out of it and all that. Mate, we was all over them. All over them for the last 10 minutes of that game and all through extra time. We was all over them and we should have beat them. But we didn't. And they do go on to the semi-final.
They haven't won a game since the 6th of February.
They've been a long time without winning. They haven't got before the FA Cup, which I think was a very lucky deflected goal and a penalty. They haven't scored a goal in 4 in the league.
The reality is, Nicky, as well, two of their last 3 games, they come away to us and they go away to you. Last game of the season. I think they lose both those games. And I think if they lose both those games, I think they're done.
They could be well in it. Yeah, absolutely. Right.
I do like how you boys are kind of hyping yourselves up into a Leeds thing here. Have you seen the rest of their fixtures?
Listen, I think I'm going to be honest.
Bring their fixtures up, Nicky.
No, they go away to Manchester United next.
They'll lose that. They always lose at Old Trafford.
It's not. Let's have a look. Hold on, let me see.
They have Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Chelsea away. Oh no, is that in the FA Cup? No,
Chelsea's in the FA Cup. Yeah.
Bournemouth away, Burnley at home, Spurs away, Brighton at home, and West Ham away.
If I could take anyone's fixtures, I would.
Yeah, they got the best.
I know
fixtures.
we said about the
fixtures.
Yeah, but those are the fixtures you want. However, those fixtures can be counterproductive because if you lose a game, you're losing 6 points, not 3 points, up against those kind of teams. If it's against you,
I think I might take West Ham's fixtures over them.
I like those fixtures. I'll be honest with you. I look at them and I quite like them.
Yeah,
I think Leeds have the best fixtures.
I think West Ham are playing most teams. Most teams West Ham play have got nothing to play for
at the right time. Yeah. I do agree. Let's have a quick look at the table because we are running out of time. I've got to do another stream in a second. So let's have a quick look at the table. How do I stop sharing this? There we go. Quick look at the table. So this is the bottom of the table. So we sit on 29, Tottenham on 30, Forest on 32. The goal difference is mad. So we're going to have to find another point for it, even with Leeds. And Leeds are on 33. Palace are out of it, well and truly out of it at 39. So it's between us 4. I cannot see Burnley or Wolves getting out of it, although Wolves have had a bit of a revival. So it's going to be down to us 4. So, boys, just in a quick one, just to sum it up, who's going down?
For me, Leeds. I think Leeds are the ones. They're just getting worse as the season progresses. They've got FA Cup to think about as well. I think Tottenham, obviously, if you're judging on form and you're judging on how things have been over the last 6 months, you would say Tottenham look like the candidate that will go down. But I think De Zerbi is going to give us that little bit of confidence we need just to get those few wins from now to the end of the season. So I'm going for Leeds.
Yeah, they've only won the same amount of games as us. We've only won 7. That's grim reading. And as I said before, listen, I think it all depends on the way Tottenham start. I think they start these 2 games and I think they're poor and they get dragged into it. And especially if we win them, I think you will go. But I think if he gets off to a good start, even with a draw, I think you'll get out of it. And I think Forest are definitely out of it. I don't think Forest have got anything to worry about. I think they're too good. They've got too much quality.
I think Europe could be a distraction for them.
But
though.
it could
Thursday,
be.
Sunday,
But then it could be also one of them.
3 games.
It could be one of them ones that sort of spurs them on as well. So
no, it's not 3. It's 5. Potentially 5.
No, 5. I mean, yeah, but if we win first legs comfortably, then it's 3 games.
It's all very condensed, though. It's all very condensed.
Yeah, I hear it. Look, I can't look beyond Spurs. I really can't. I rate De Zerbi, by the way. I think he's probably the best manager you've had since Conte. I just can't see a situation where you can say to this guy, here's 23 turds, try and polish them. Because you're still going to.
You just want bragging rights over your brother. That's all you want.
My brother's broken, man. Like I'm almost feeling sorry for him at this stage.
The problem is, he's had these conversations with Wolfie every time this season. Wolfie always ends up being.
I know.
That's the thing.
Not this time, no. Not this time.
When I said this and about Frank, about that, and it all came true. Like the only thing I will say is this Friday is the big game. I think if West Ham don't beat Wolves, I hate to say it, Nicky, but you're in trouble.
I agree.
Trouble.
We've got to beat Wolves. I think.
I don't even think a draw is good enough. This has to be a win. If you put Spurs into 18th and then Spurs draw, say with Sunderland, Spurs go that whole week in the relegation zone. I don't think your fan base has the mentality like West Ham fans do, Forest fans do, Leeds fans do. We can drop in and out of that spot and we're not going to lose our heads. I'm intrigued to see how your fan base and your players react to that.
Everyone's going to lose their shit. Every Spurs fan is going to lose their shit.
I guarantee you, if you're in 18th, there'll be De Zerbi outers already come Monday. Do you know what I mean? That was like what will happen in your fan base. So I think this Friday's game is the most important game coming up. And
I don't think it's as much as a gimme game as everyone's saying. Like Wolves have actually turned it around over the last 2 years.
We have to fight. And we've got no excuses. He threw away that FA Cup game for this game. And I said
they beat Villa, they beat Liverpool, and they drew with Brentford in their last 3 games. So it's not an easy one. It's not an easy one. But
they beat Villa as well, didn't they? Did you say they beat
Villa? Yeah, but
Villa and Liverpool.
On the cusp of it, if we want to get out of it, we win this game. If we don't, we don't deserve it. And that's the way you've got to see it. But boys, I've got to go now because I've got another stream. But thank you so much for coming on. I'll tell you what, no matter what happens, and this is the last of it, there's no more interruptions. There's no more international breaks. We are going to be through to the last 7 games, and we're going to go all the way through this. So go and check out Forest Fan TV. Go and check out We Are Tottenham TV. But boys, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you at the end of the season. One thing left for me to say. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Spurs.